If you want to find out what I discovered about this house where Cora Jakes and her husband Brandon Coleman resided in Ellis County, Texas, when she first notified him of the sexual assault allegations made against him by their adopted daughter, you better stick around until the end. Hi there, I'm Professor Blackmore, and welcome back to my channel and to my series entitled Potter's House, PedoFiles. And I'm coming back to you today to talk to you about the case entitled The State of Texas versus Richard Brandon Coleman, and more specifically, to respond to this lovely question from my last episode in this series, wherein I talked to you about the first very strange occurrence amongst very many that I have noted in this case. And I want to remind you that in later episodes, I will cover other very strange occurrences in this case. So you'll want to make sure to subscribe to my channel and click the bell so you'll be notified when I come back. And as you know, I've covered every aspect of this case from the beginning because for some reason or another, there are no news outlets that I can find that have covered this story at all. And so, if you want to get caught up on all of the facts that I provided directly from the criminal court file pertinent to this criminal court indictment surrounding the arrest of Richard Brandon Coleman, the husband of Cora Jake Coleman, aka the daughter of BishopTDJakes of the Potter's House Church, and why I don't think there really is a divorce decree, allegedly, please watch all of my prior podcast episodes in this series. And let me make sure that I note that I have no opinion whatsoever regarding whether these allegations set forth in this indictment against Cora Jake's husband, Brandon Coleman, are true. Because there are so many strange occurrences, I can't say for sure what in the hell is really going on here. And in my prior episode, I was discussing how, while many of you believe this man was set up by Cora Jakes, I'm still not ready to say whether I'm of the same mindset, even though the more I look at this case, the stranger everything seems to be all around it. And the only reason that this case is in Ellis County, Texas, is because this is where Cora Jakes and her husband resided when one or more of the occurrences of the alleged sexual abuse of their adopted daughter took place. And you'll remember that I played audio of Brandon Coleman from a jailhouse interview that he did, wherein he stated that he and Cora Jakes only resided in the house for 1 month when these allegations were first brought to his attention by Cora Jakes. And so because I thought it was so odd for this to be going on, I mean, based on the allegations in the indictment at the home on the TD Jakes compound in Tarrant County, Texas, and at this new mysterious home in Ellis County, Texas, why would she wait until she is now in this new home in Ellis County for only 30 days to call the authorities while she's at the Ellis County home rather than at the Tarrant County home? I mean, if they had only lived there for 30 days at that point, it seemed that more occurrences of this alleged sexual assault would have taken place in Tarrant County on the Jakes compound rather than at this new home in Ellis County. In addition, if you go back and listen to the audio interview, Brandon Coleman stated that Cora and the children had spent some period of time in California just previous to them coming back to that home in Ellis County when he learned of these allegations, which were disclosed to him by Cora Jakes. So it would have been a period of even less than 30 days that he would have resided in that Ellis County home with the adopted daughter, who is the subject of the criminal sexual abuse indictment. In addition, it is clear that after the allegations were made, he, Brandon Coleman, most definitely had to leave the house because clearly neither him nor Cora would think that it would be a good idea for him to remain in the home where the child resided. And so the idea that this case is being brought by the Ellis County District Attorney instead of the Tarrant County District Attorney in the county where the TDJakes compound is located makes this extremely odd to me. And if you go back and look at the evidence listed in the court case file, it makes no mention of the Ellis County house. And yet all of the evidence that is stated in that evidence list relates to the TDJakes compound in Tarrant County, Texas. But the case is brought by the Ellis County District Attorney. And although Brandon Coleman talks about a divorce in that audio interview, I am almost 90% sure there is and was at that time no actual divorce on file. And at this particular point in time, I cannot find that any divorce has been finalized. And so he would have been a fool, in my opinion, to sign divorce papers until all of this mess was sorted out. And I've done an entire video on why I do not think there is a finalized divorce, and I'll tell you why I still believe that even more in just a few moments. But after my remarks about this mysterious house in Ellis County, Texas, I received this lovely question from my comments section, which asks, quote, could anyone look in the tax documents to their names on the deed and also a mortgage? And I think this is just a beautiful question. And the quick answer to this very smart person is yes. And when you look at the tax records, you will see the address of the home. And it also, interestingly, seems to indicate that the current tax records appear to still be in both of their names. But it will be possible that this could be because a new tax bill has not yet been generated for the 2023 tax year, and that is why this is still in both their names in the tax records. But when you go to the property records for Ellis County and you search the title of this house and you do a complete title search of it, it is clear that this house is still owned by both Cora Jake Coleman and her husband, Richard Brandon Coleman. And if they were truly divorced, why would the house still be in both of their names? And I'm not going to get into a lengthy analysis of why I think they are still married. But one of the things that has to be accomplished in a divorce is that there is a clear and undeniable rendition of what property belongs to each one of the parties. This means that before a divorce decree can be signed by the judge, it has to show that either the parties agree that one or the other party is going to take the house as their own sole separate property, which means that one party would have to sign over their community interest in the home to the other party, or they would need to sell the house and split the proceeds because you can't split a house in half. But here is the general warranty deed reflecting that they bought the home on July 22nd, 2021. And here is the deed of trust showing the bank's interest in the home until the mortgage is paid off, which is also signed by both of them on July 22nd, 2021. Now, when you run this search and just put in either of their names, it would show if Brandon Coleman later deeded his interest over to Cora, or if she later deeded her interest over to Brandon, or if they sold the house and the mortgage was canceled. All of that would show here when you put their names in this search. But when you do so, you put in either one of their names, the only record relating to this home is the July 22nd, 2021 transaction, which means Brandon Coleman and Cora Jake Coleman are still the owners of this home. The only record that is reflected regarding these two people or this address, this legal description, this particular property, this is the only record that reflects regarding this property. It seems to me that they bought it as a brand new home. This was a new home that was built on this property. This is the first and only record of this home in this record at all. The title begins and ends right here for this property. And now when you go back and you look at the indictment, you will see that the allegations that are alleged take place between the time period of July the 10th, 2021 through August the 11th, 2021. And again, when you go back and look at the general warranty deed regarding the home, you'll see that they signed it on July 22nd, 2021. So this does line up with what Brandon Coleman said in his audio interview when he says that he was only in the home for about a month time frame before this was brought to his attention. In addition, when you look at this evidence list, it talks about a forensic interview that was conducted of the child in September of 2021, as well as interviews that were conducted of Cora Jakes in September of 2021. So it looks like that was around the time frame when they first started really started with the investigation. And again, it wasn't until May of 2022 when Brandon Coleman was arrested. And so for a judge to be able to sign a divorce decree giving Cora Jakes a final divorce from Brandon Coleman, the document will have to dispose of all of their property, including this Ellis County home, as well as it would have to spell out custody, visitation, and child support regarding the children. Now, I'm not going to go back through an entire analysis regarding the divorce, but I will say that jurisdiction really relates to the children. Jurisdiction would be where the children either have resided for 6 months or where the continuing jurisdiction relates regarding the children, which is Tarrant County, which is where the adoption took place for one or more of these children. So there is just no way that an Ellis County court would have jurisdiction regarding a divorce. But if you go and search the Ellis County records, there is no divorce for these two people. If you go to Tarrant County, you have the adoption, and it is possible that a divorce could be filed in that adoption file. That adoption file by law is sealed. So if they had any sense, yeah, they would do that. Okay. But if they did that, I cannot see why this house would still be in both of their names at this point. And I can't see how any final determination regarding custody, visitation, and child support can be made until there is a final verdict on these criminal charges. And so I'm still left with more questions than answers. I still can't have an opinion about whether there is a setup because I don't know if the allegations are true or not. And if you say there is a setup, then what you're saying is that the allegations are not true. But it is still highly suspicious to me how this case ends up in Ellis County rather than Tarrant County, Texas. But what do you think? I ask you again, where did this house come from? And do you think this house was introduced into this mess to keep all of the news media away from the TD Jakes compound in Tarrant County? And why do you think the Tarrant County District Attorney and the Tarrant County news media seem to have no interest in this case and no interest in determining if there is any truth to these allegations? Please let me know what you think by leaving your comments in the comment section below. And I hope you'll also give me a big thumbs up. And I hope you'll also consider donating to this video and my entire channel ministry by donating to the ProfessorBlackmore.com Cash App. And I also want to ask that you please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell so you'll be notified whenever I come back with more Potter's House PedoFiles updates. And please also follow me on TikTok and